Joy is the goal of existence, and joy is not to be stumbled upon, but to be achieved, and the act of treason is to let its vision drown in the swamp of the moment's torture. When I disagree with a rational man, I let reality be our final arbiter. If I am right, he will learn. If I am wrong, I will. One of us will win, but both will profit. Ask yourself whether the dream of heaven and greatness should be left waiting for us in our graves or whether it should be ours here and now, and on this earth. I started my life with a single absolute, that the world was mine to shape in the image of my highest values and never to be given up to a lesser standard, no matter how long or hard the struggle. To sell your soul is the easiest thing in the world. That's what everybody does every hour of his life. If I asked you to keep your soul, would you understand why that's much harder? Devotion to the truth is the hallmark of morality. There is no greater, nobler, more heroic form of devotion than the act of a man who assumes the responsibility of thinking. Is it advisable to spread out all the conveniences of culture before people to whom a few steps up a stair to a library is a sufficient deterrent from reading? He is free to evade reality. He is free to unfocus his mind and stumble blindly down any road he pleases, but not free to avoid the abyss he refuses to see. What greater wealth is there than to own your life and to spend it on growing? Every living thing must grow. It can't stand still. It must grow or perish. Today, intelligence is neither recognized nor rewarded, but is being systematically extinguished in a growing flood of brazenly flaunted irrationality. A government is the most dangerous threat to man's rights. It holds a legal monopoly on the use of physical force against legally disarmed victims. Contradictions do not exist. Whenever you think that you are facing a contradiction, check your premises. You will find that one of them is wrong. Let me give you a tip on a clue to men's characters. The man who damns money has obtained it dishonorably. The man who respects it has earned it. It is not advisable to venture unsolicited opinions. You should spare yourself the embarrassing discovery of their exact value to your listener. Contradictions do not exist. Whenever you think you are facing a contradiction, check your premises. You will find that one of them is wrong. I worship individuals for their highest possibilities as individuals, and I loathe humanity for its failure to live up to these possibilities. He liked to observe emotions. They were like red lanterns strung along the dark unknown of another's personality, marking vulnerable points. Serenity comes from the ability to say yes to existence. Courage comes from the ability to say no to the wrong choices made by others. I can accept anything, except what seems to be the easiest for most people, the halfway, the almost, the just about, the in-between. I swear by my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another man. nor ask another man to live for mine. The smallest minority on earth is the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. Run for your life from any man who tells you that money is evil. That sentence is the leper's bell of an approaching looter. I take no pride in hopeless longing. I wouldn't hold a stillborn aspiration. I'd want to have it, to make it, to live it. No speech is ever considered, but only the speaker. It's so much easier to pass judgment on a man than on an idea. She did not know the nature of her loneliness. The only words that named it were, "This is not the world I expected." She knew that even pain can be confessed, but to confess happiness is to stand naked, delivered to the witness. Men who reject the responsibility of thought and reason can only exist as parasites on the thinking of others. Rationalization is a process of not perceiving reality, but of attempting to make reality fit one's emotions. Reason is not automatic. Those who deny it cannot be conquered by it. Do not count on them. Leave them alone. She thought how strange it would be if she ever said hello to him. One did not greet oneself each morning. There are two sides to every issue. One side is right and the other is wrong, but the middle is always evil. When I die, I hope to go to heaven, whatever that is, and I want to be able to afford the price of admission. Have you ever felt the longing for someone you could admire? For something, not to look down at, but up to? I never found beauty in longing for the impossible, and never found the possible to be beyond my reach. In a free society, one does not have to deal with those who are irrational. One is free to avoid them. A political battle is merely a skirmish fought with muskets. A philosophical battle is a nuclear war. Money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. My happiness is not the means to any end. It is the end. It is its own goal. It is its own purpose. So you think that money is the root of all evil? Have you ever asked what is the root of all money? Self-respect is something that can't be killed. The worst thing is to kill a man's pretense at it. Live and act within the limit of your knowledge and keep expanding it to the limit of your life. Art is a selective recreation of reality according to an artist's metaphysical value judgments. The purpose of morality is to teach you, not to suffer and die, but to enjoy yourself and live. Happiness is that state of consciousness which proceeds from the achievement of one's values. The hardest thing to explain is the glaringly evident which everybody has decided not to see. The man who damns money has obtained it dishonorably, the man who respects it has earned it. If any civilization is to survive, it is the morality of altruism that men have to reject. Never think of pain or danger or enemies a moment longer than is necessary to fight them. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. In this world, either you're virtuous or you enjoy yourself. Not both, lady, not both. But why should you care what people will say? All you have to do is please yourself. Self-sacrifice? But it is precisely the self that cannot and must not be sacrificed. But you see, the measure of hell you're able to endure is the measure of your love. Don't think. Believe. Trust your heart, not your brain. Don't think. Feel. Believe. I came here to say that I do not recognize anyone's right to 1 minute of my life. Money will not purchase happiness for the man who has no concept of what he wants. If one's actions are honest, one does not need the predated confidence of others. You can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. If one doesn't respect oneself, one can have neither love nor respect for others. There is no such thing as a lousy job, only lousy men who don't care to do it. The ladder of success is best climbed by stepping on the rungs of opportunity. Powerlust is a weed that grows only in the vacant lots of an abandoned mind. What is man? He's just a collection of chemicals with delusions of grandeur. The most depraved type of human being is the man without a purpose. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Freedom, N, to ask nothing. To expect nothing. To depend on nothing. If you don't know, the thing to do is not to get scared, but to learn. It is not death that we wish to avoid, but life that we wish to live. It was the greatest sensation of existence, not to trust but to know. You have been the one encounter in my life that can never be repeated. The man who does not value himself cannot value anything or anyone. Patience is always rewarded and romance is always round the corner. I could die for you. But I couldn't and wouldn't live for you. Learn to value yourself, which means fight for your happiness. Reason functions by integrating perceptual data into concepts. The more you learn, the more you know that you know nothing. The truth is not for all men, but only for those who seek it. I don't wish to be the symbol of anything. I'm only myself. To say I love you, one must know first how to say the I. Do it first and feel about it afterwards. Dagny Taggart. To say I love you, one must first be able to say the I. Civilization is the process of setting man free from men. One loses everything when one loses one's sense of humor. Within the extent of your knowledge, you are right. The worst guilt is to accept an unearned guilt. Integrity is the ability to stand by an idea. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. But I don't think of you. Worry is a waste of emotional reserve. Never ask people about your work. Guilt is a rope that wears thin. I think, therefore I'll think. I think. I am. I will.